Democrats in the past few minutes. And of course, there's another group of parties who weren't on the stage tonight, those based in Northern Ireland. There are 18 constituencies across Northern Ireland, with 138 candidates running to become an MP in this election. The Democratic Unionist Party won 8 seats at the last election and were the largest Northern Ireland party at Westminster. The DUP's list of demands to support a coalition include calls for extra defence spending and for an EU referendum. They lean to the right, but have said they're prepared to do a deal with either the Conservatives or Labour. Sinn Féin won 5 of Northern Ireland's 18 seats last time. They are left-leaning and fighting this election campaign with a message that they'll oppose Tory cuts. However, their MPs don't take their seats in the House of Commons. The Social Democratic and Labour Party had 3 MPs last time. The SDLP have long ties with the Labour Party, and they would be their first and natural choice for any coalition. The Alliance Party had 1 MP elected in 2010. It says it won't commit to a single party, and if they're elected again, they'll vote on an issue-by-issue basis. The Ulster Unionist Party, like the DUP, leaned to the right, and in 2010 had an electoral alliance with the Conservatives, although they didn't win any seats. They say they'd be open to a deal with either the Conservatives or Labour. There was also 1 independent MP in Northern Ireland during the last Parliament. Well, Sinn Féin's Chris Hazard is in Belfast. He joins us now. Chris Hazard, your response as an anti-austerity party to what you've heard this evening, has there been a game changer for you?
Well, I think tonight has been a stark illustration of the failure of those local parties who take their seats at Westminster to make any sort of impact on the day and daily issues at Westminster. And it's also a pertinent example of how local issues here in Ireland do not register for the political establishment at Westminster. What we've seen tonight in this debate is a strong alternative put forward. It's a message that Sinn Féin have been putting forward. It's a platform of change, and it's something that our people badly need.
And would you be prepared to take up your Westminster seats, which traditionally you don't, if it meant keeping an austerity party, the Conservatives, out?
Sinn Féin are a proud Republican abstentionist party. As we've seen tonight, those parties from here in Ireland who take their seats are making absolutely no impact. If we look at the big successes, they've come through direct negotiations with the British government. If it's the latest Stormont House negotiations that delivered 700 million for shared and integrated schools, if it's the devolution of policing and justice powers that came with the Weston Park or the Good Friday agreements, anything that we deliver for our people is delivered through direct negotiations. It is not delivered through Westminster. It would be questions about Ouija board regulations that Gregory Campbell has asked, or early day motions about Afghanistan. The people of Ireland, the issues that matter to the people of Ireland, are taken up through direct negotiations with the British government.
OK. Thank you very much, Chris Hazard. Also in Belfast, Nigel Dodds from the Democratic Unionist Party. Nigel Dodds, you've made it clear that you could work with either party. Has anything changed that tonight?
Well, I think there were 2 things missing from the stage tonight. First of all, the Prime Minister, of course, and I think his absence has certainly benefited Ed Miliband, if anybody. But secondly, the voice from Northern Ireland, because those of us in the DUP who take our seats at Westminster and have made a powerful difference for Northern Ireland by doing so, can make a real difference in the next Parliament. Everyone agrees that our 8, 9, 10 seats, and we had more seats than some of the parties that we're debating tonight, can be used either to support Ed Miliband or David Cameron. We've worked with both parties in the past, and we can work with either in the future, but depending on whether or not we can get a good deal, first of all, of course, for Northern Ireland, but also for the country as a whole. We want to strengthen the United Kingdom, strengthen the Union, and we want to see the country moving forward in the right direction.
So, Nigel Dodds, what are the most important things then that you would demand from either party? You've said that Labour would have to offer an EU referendum?
Yes, I think it's important that we want to strengthen the Union. We saw tonight 2 nationalist parties on the stage wanting to break up the United Kingdom. We want to strengthen the United Kingdom. We want to see the United Kingdom strong at home and abroad. That's why we're very much committed to the 2% of GDP spend on defence. We think that's right. We want to see the deficit dealt with in a responsible way, but in a compassionate way, and that's why we have opposed the bedroom tax, for instance, and we do want to see an EU referendum. It's time that people in the United Kingdom had their say on membership of the United Kingdom, or membership of the European Union, and also stronger immigration controls.
Just give us a brief sense, Nigel Dodds. We know that the DUP wanted to be part of that debate tonight. What do you think was missing from there that you would have brought?
Well, I think we would have brought a clear commitment to the Union. I think it's very important to emphasise the enormous contribution Northern Ireland makes to the United Kingdom. 20% of our reserve forces in the armed forces come from Northern Ireland voluntarily, although we only make up 3% of the population. Our people make an enormous contribution to the United Kingdom as a whole. And whilst we have published a 5-point plan for the benefit of Northern Ireland, we want to grow our economy, we want to see public services strengthened, we want to see things moving forward in terms of the peace process, but we have a great vision for our country as a whole, and we will work to strengthen the United Kingdom. We will work to give people power back into their hands and to deal with the deficit in a responsible way, but in a compassionate and caring way. And I think that the Northern Ireland MPs in the next Parliament can be a very powerful influence for good.
Nigel Dodds, thanks very much indeed. And just to remind you, tonight, Newsnight will be talking to the 5 main Northern Ireland parties in a special programme from Belfast. That's with Evan Davis on BBC 2 at 10:30. Viewers in Northern Ireland can see it on BBC 1 at 10:45. Back now to John Pienaar.
Well, Emily, it's a bit like a teeming cocktail party down here, but without the booze. But